So we have a very exciting show lined up for tomorrow. Um, I had kind of a different show planned, but we'll probably do both, but a little less of what I originally had planned. And if you saw my post on Facebook earlier today, I posted an article from the Gospel Coalition in Australia. And if you know me, I try not to do this much on the internet. Either way. I try not to do this too much. I have conversations about this with people, but I'm very critical of the Gospel Coalition lately. If you want to know more why, I'd love to talk to you about that and explain why. But I said I will give them credit when credit is due. I have no problem doing that. And they wrote an excellent article about, it's called At What Price Awakening? Examining the Theology and Practice of the Bethel Movement. For a very long time now, I have been outspoken about Bethel and about Bill Johnson and about Jesus culture, about the dangers that they pose to the church. It has been met with resistance. It has been met with open arms and reception. It has been met with anger. I kind of had numerous conversations ranging of all sorts of emotions. I posted this article to give some insight to those that might not be familiar with what is going on out in California and how they are spreading literally across the world with their toxic theology, with their dangerous teachings, with their denial of the sufficiency of Scripture. And so the Gospel Coalition called them out. They did what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to call them out by name. We're not supposed to tiptoe around anything. If you are teaching what they are teaching, excuse me, if you have arrived at a level that they have, then, I mean, honestly, you just need to call them out. You need to do your homework and understand what you're calling out. And this guy, I mean, he's got 17, 18, 19, some odd quotes from Bill Johnson's book. Like, he just pulls quotes exactly what Bill Johnson says. So it's not even like you can say this guy, like, well, he's sort of biased. No, he's not. Like, he's just pulling quotes from Bill Johnson books. He's pulling quotes from things that they have said. And these are things that you can access yourself and hear. And you can do the homework as well to confirm, yeah, this is actually what's going on. As I closed it, I said, theology matters, and it matters for anyone. Anyone needs to be compared to Scripture. Even guys like Bill Johnson, even guys like Furtick, even guys like Matt Chandler, like I've mentioned him on the show before, even guys like Matt Chandler, whoever it is, worship music or preachers or YouTube videos or whatever it is, whatever is being said in the name of Christ needs to be compared to Scripture to make sure that it's actually biblical, that the things that people are saying are legitimate and that they're not just making things up. And unfortunately, Bethel has been allowed to grow and to grow and to grow. And even the last part of the article, he makes a comment, I fear Jesus culture serves as a gateway drug that draws young and inexperienced Christians into a world of false teaching, unbiblical practices, and spiritual disaster. That is the main point that I have always told people about Jesus culture, is that they are so large, they use their music to draw the youth in, and then they plug them into their church. It's dangerous. It's so dangerous. That is, again, why Theology Nights is here on the internet, because Jesus culture and Bethel and Bill Johnson and the like, they have such a following online. I mean, just look at what Bill Johnson and Bethel and Jesus culture, look at the followers that they have on Facebook and on Twitter and on YouTube. They're in the millions. That's not even counting the people that sit in the pews on Sunday mornings. That's not counting the people that go to these concerts. That's not counting the people that read his books. These are people just following online. That's the type of theology. This stuff is not unique to Bethel, okay? I guarantee you this is going on I'll say it, in our area of Northeast Ohio. It is going on right in our area. This is not something that is unique just to Bethel. It is not something that is just unique to California or this Australian movement that this author is talking about. This happens in our very backyard, okay? Most people listen to Bethel. Most people listen to Jesus culture. I'm sure a lot of people read Bill Johnson. They listen to his sermons and they buy his books. we are going to talk about tomorrow night. We will go through this article. I have numerous notes. I have quotes that I want to talk about. I mean, every bit of the article, but I mean, one of the things I wrote, wow, on one of the quotes, because it was some of the stuff that this guy talks about. It's just, we're going to go through the article line by line. I've really, since I began Theology Nights, I've tried to remain, I don't want to say unbiased, because that's not the word I'm looking for. I've tried to not do too much polemics. I've tried to not do too much of calling people out and saying this is why, because I didn't really want it to be, I didn't want Theology Nights to become that. I was more concerned with teaching truth and talking about Scripture. But I stumbled across this article today, and honestly, a subject like this has been something that I've been praying about for a while, how to approach it, because I see it getting, the movement is growing. It's not going away, and we can't just allow it to, we can't just say, oh, well, that's just what they're going to do. We can't, because like I said, it's in our backyard. It's in our towns. It is right here. I'm sure wherever you are watching this, if you're watching this in a different part of the world than Northeast Ohio, you have it in your area too. I guarantee it, actually. This stuff is spreading, and it needs to be stopped. We need to know why it needs to be stopped. We need to know why it's false. We need to examine it according to Scripture to be able to give a rebuke and to explain why. Not just because we don't like that person, or not just because we would prefer some other style of music or teaching, but we need to be able to explain why it's false. We'll do that tomorrow night. I'd ask you to join us 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can join us on Facebook, or you can go to theologynights.com and click the live link. If you have questions that you would like to submit for the show tomorrow night, you can do that also at theologynights.com. Make sure you comment below if you have any thoughts or feedback or anything that you'd like us to address tomorrow as well. But again, I invite your friends. I'd really like to get this message out to a lot of people. So please join us. Again, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great night, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.